Take some questions, or want me to say something?
You can start with a statement and then make it.
Probably our defense, thought they controlled things, start defensively. We had, 15 first downs, 220 yards. Our defense was very good tonight. Got stuck in a couple of short field situations in the first half where they gave up touchdowns. But other than that, I mean, they were very, very good. And so proud of the way our defense played. Got to get some takeaways. So if there's one negative defensively, we got to get some takeaways, set our offense up on some short fields. So that was that. Special teams, non-factor. Nothing really went on special teams wise. Had an impact in the game. We missed a field goal, very makeable one. I think it was 42 yards. So that was disappointing. But the biggest disappointment, offensively, you turned the ball over 4 times and scored 1 touchdown. You're going to win exactly 0 games doing that. So that was our biggest issue tonight. Was taking care of the football. You know, the number 1 rated rush defense in the conference, which was Oregon State, 135 yards rushing on them, which was pretty good production. So we did some good things offensively, but can't turn the ball over 4 times. You just can't do it. It's the name of the game is, other than points, is winning the turnover margin. We're not doing that right now. Questions?
Coach, last year when things got tough, you could rely on John White, you could rely on Devontae for big catches, and your playmakers aren't really showing up this year. What's the reason for that?
Well, yeah, John, he had, 60, 70 yards tonight. Kelvin, supplemented that. So I thought we ran the ball fairly efficiently tonight, but no big plays, not enough big plays. We made some plays in the throw game. I thought Travis threw some good balls, but not enough of them. We got to get guys step up and make more big plays.
Is it a leadership issue, or what's?
No, I think we have good leaders. We have good leaders, got a good attitude. These guys work hard. They, Monday through Friday is not our problem. It's making more plays on Saturday.
Is there a guy in the locker room, though, that close in the fourth quarter that you can go to, that you can rely on?
We got a few guys. Start Motomale, our big defensive tackle, David Kruger, Tadita Stevens on offense. Kenneth Scotty, who's just a sophomore, is a very good leader for us. So I don't think there's a lack of leadership at all. I wouldn't say that's an issue for us at this point.
Another slow start for you, Kyle. What's the cause there?
Yeah, we have to finish drives, and we move the football, and then we don't finish drives, and we move it, we miss the field goal, and we move it down, and fumble the ball in the red zone. We just got to be better finishers, and I think that'll come. Travis, I think, even though he turned the ball over, we saw some more positive things out of him tonight, and so we just got to keep working.
Coach, those penalties are crippling, and it's not traditional Utah football, but this year they've been plaguing the team from game 1 to game 7. What do you have to say about that? Is that a discipline thing with the players? Is it the coaches? What's going on with?
Well, we're about in the middle of the league penalty-wise. Believe it or not, if you look at some of the most penalized teams in the country, they're oftentimes the best. And so it's not I don't think there was any flagrant undisciplined penalties. We had a hand in the face mask one time on a pass rush, 2 times actually, a PAT field block and a pass rush. We're not having a lot of procedural penalties offensively. You're never going to be perfect, but not a lot of false starts. In fact, I don't know if we had 1 false start tonight. We had an illegal formation, our legal man downfield, not an illegal formation. But I don't think that we're overly penalized right now. Like I said, I think we're right in the middle of the conference statistically.
Talk about winning the turnover battle, and you got John White on a key third down. He's wide open, drops a pass. How much does that factor in as the turnover and slowing down the offense? Yeah,
that's in essence like a turnover because it was 3rd down, and he's probably still running right now if he had caught that ball if he was in a wide open field. So that's those are exactly the plays that we got to start making, things like that.
That first play of the game, Luke Matthews had a 35-yard reception, but it probably could have gone for 6 if Wilson didn't short arm it there, and there was also a few short arms last week against UCLA. Is it an arm strength problem? Is it just nerves? What's happening?
Travis actually has a strong arm, and his numbers weren't bad, whether 15 to 28. It's close to 60%. Close to a couple hundred yards with a couple sacks, and the big things, the 2 picks. But he's just a freshman. He's a true freshman. There's going to be some growing pains with him, but we think that based on two ball games that he's played, that he's showed a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, and I think he's got some upside to him, a lot of upside to him.
Talking about growing pains with Travis, how much worse are those growing pains when you've got seniors like Devontae or John or the line have
sorry, I didn't follow that question.
How much harder are the growing pains for Travis when some of the seniors and older players on the field are making mistakes and dropping
Okay,
balls?
yeah, we can certainly help them out more than we are catching the ball. You're never going to catch every single ball. It's easy to nitpick when you lose and find a bunch of things you didn't do well, but the truth of the matter is when you win, oftentimes you see the same things that show up. And so, but certainly catching, John had a couple drops in the throw game. Overall, I just think we need to be better finishers and take care of them.
With Starr anchoring in the middle of the line, at the start of the season, a lot of people expected a better pass rush with Starr taking up a few blocks, and there really hasn't been too many sacks on the year. And
we're going to get more production in the sacking. Now, we're playing the run tough. I think we had 50 yards rushing tonight or somewhere in that neighborhood. And so we're doing a nice job in rush defense, but, yeah, we needed to get more of a pass rush. And really, I think it's from the end spot. We need to get more heat from the ends and a little more disruptive in that position. I think we'll get a good push interiorly from the tackles, collapsing the pocket. We just need to get more pressure on the edge.
One last question.
Travis is the first one in here, said he took a lot of the blame on himself, put a lot on himself. What do you tell him after a game like this?
Well, he's a stand-up kid. That doesn't surprise me that he would take that attitude. But you just, you got to keep him confident, keep him coming, and keep him progressing week to week, and that's what we expect. He's a very competitive, tough kid. He was very successful in high school. He was a great leader for his team. Won a lot of football games, and you're going to see him win a lot of football games here.
Got one, okay, you got two more?
Well, I'll sneak one in since I ran the stairs, but Kyle, you're kind of in unfamiliar territory here. It's the first time you've had a team get off to a 2-5 start to a season, and I imagine coming in, you didn't really anticipate it with this group, or did you see some growing pains?
Well, the league is very, very tough, very competitive. I've said that from day one. I was saying that last year, and so every week you got to play your best football, and we haven't done that yet as a team. We've played some good defense along the way tonight. Like I said, it was exceptional defense, but it's only 1/3 of the equation. We got to play a complete game, and we have not been able to put a complete game together yet this year.
Oregon State really keyed things on their defense early, but then it's like you said, you guys seem to figure them out a little bit. What were they doing well early, and then what did you guys do adjustment-wise?
Well, they're not real complicated on defense. They're very sound, and schematically they don't do a whole lot, and so it's